Biomass is plant material and animal waste. There are 5 main ways of turning biomass into electricity and heat. This includes direct combustion. Direct combustion is the simplest way to generate electricity. All you have to do is burn it. Direct combustion systems burn biomass in boilers to produce high-pressure steam. The steam turns a turbine that is connected to a generator. The steam causes the turbine to rotate so the generator turns and electricity is made. Most of the world's biomass power plants use direct combustion. Although this technology is dependable and proven, its efficiency is limited. Direct combustion systems typically have thermal efficiencies around 20%. These efficiencies can be increased through cogeneration. Another main way of turning biomass into electricity is coal firing. Coal firing has to do with burning biomass with coal in power plant boilers. It is one of the most economic ways to produce electricity from biomass because the same power plant equipment is used for coal can be used without major changes. Some coal-fired power plants in America use this technology to help lower the use of coal, which leads to lower emissions of carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxides. Coal firing lets biomass to be converted to electricity at a higher thermal efficiency in the 33% to 37% range. The third way is gasification. Gasification is turning biomass into gas. Machines heat the solid biomass at a high temperature in a tank that is oxygenless. It contains between 1/5 and 1/2 the heat content of natural gas. Gasification is better than direct combustion because gasifying biomass to produce electricity is twice as efficient as burning it directly, and results in lower emissions of greenhouse gases. Gasification systems can also be combined with fuel cell systems, which convert hydrogen gas to electricity and heat. The next one is pyrolysis. In pyrolysis, biomass is heated to high temperatures in an oxygen-free environment to produce a gas rich in hydrocarbons. This gas is cooled fast to create an oil-like liquid, which is called bio-oil. And the remaining solid is a charcoal-like residue, what we call char. The bio-oil can then be burned like petroleum to generate electricity, while the char can be used for heating. The fifth way biomass can be turned into electricity and heat is anaerobic digestion. Anaerobic digestion is when certain kinds of bacteria break down or digest organic material without oxygen and produce biogas as a waste product. This process occurs naturally in dumps or landfill sites containing organic wastes. When waste is buried, it is digested by bacteria, which results to biogas rich in methane. This gas can be used to generate electricity, heat buildings, or run engines. Biogas can also be produced by mixing plant and animal wastes with water in oxygen-free tanks. The estimated cost to generate electricity from biomass ranges from 5.2 to 6.7 cents per kilowatt hour in Oregon and the Pacific Northwest.
The use of biomass impacts the environment in a couple ways. The combustion of biomass fuels can produce air pollution, and some of those pollutants are carbon monoxide. Ethanol can be produced in the process of making biomass fuels, which emits nitrogen oxide into the atmosphere. One thing that biomass doesn't produce, however, is carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. Biomass has its advantages and disadvantages. On the plus side, biomass is one of the largest renewable resources, and it doesn't produce greenhouse gases. It's burned like coal in power plants, but with fewer harmful emissions to produce heat or electricity. Some materials used when making biomass have potential for huge production levels, and they are also technology friendly. Biomass doesn't depend on fossil fuels, and it creates methane gas. Also, biomass doesn't cost as much as expected. It also has its disadvantages. Biomass has a negative net energy, which means that the total amount of energy produced is less than the energy used to make it. Geographical location of a country is important when dealing with producing biomasses because these processes require a large amount of land and a lot of water. If biomass is overused, then there is a possibility of deforestation because wood is very accessible and there is a chance that too much wood from trees can be produces heat. The final disadvantage is that using crops to produce fuels may take away their use as food.
Biomass can be created in two different ways. The first way biomass is created is when plants are burned in internal combustion engines or broilers. This releases energy that plants hold within themselves. An easier way of saying that is that biomass is created from plants' remains. The second way biomass is created is from using animal waste. The animal waste is treated and then burned in order to create electricity. As you can see, biomass is gathered by things that are non-living. It can come from a dead plant or from an animal. There are two ways biomass can be stored. One way is when the plant begins to decompose, all the carbon monoxide stays within the plant until the decomposition finishes. Another way biomass can be stored is within steam. After the decomposition of a plant, the plant creates a steam which the biomass is held in. There are a couple waste byproducts of biomass. Here are a list of a few of them: methane gas, ethanol, biodiesel, carbon dioxide, and smoke. As you can see, biomass produces things that could fuel your car or fuel any other mechanical object. There are major issues that are keeping biomass from widespread use in our country. One of the reasons is convincing farmers it is profitable. The farmers don't believe that it will help them, but they don't understand that it will. Another issue is trying to find the cheapest way to create biomass. It takes a really long time to create biomass, and the farmers don't want to waste their time or money creating something that they think they don't really need. A third reason that's keeping biomass from being widespread is making big amounts of it. You would need a huge amount of animal waste and plant remains to create how much biomass is needed for one use. The last reason that is keeping the biomass from being widespread is it's hard to collect the biomass because you have to be really fast and efficient while putting it into a storage unit. Biomass is currently accessible to the population. New technologies are being developed and small-scale projects are economically efficient and environmentally sustainable.